Same-sex marriage remains illegal in Jamaica. The Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedoms Constitutional Amendment Act 2011 in Section 18.2 says no form of marriage or other relationship other than the voluntary union of one man and one woman may be contracted or legally recognized in Jamaica. Meanwhile, the Offences Against the Person Act in Section 79 criminalizes what it terms, quote, gross indecency between male persons. Now, the law doesn't define the term precisely, but many courts have widely interpreted gross indecency as certain sexual acts between men. Now, despite the legal restrictions, public debate is slowly evolving. Discussions about amending these laws have gained traction, and the conversation has recently moved into churches. A few weeks ago at Boulevard Baptist Church, Reverend Devon Dick attempted to place on the agenda a vote on whether same-sex unions could receive, quote, blessings from the church. The church members shut down the proposal. Now, once news of the discussion circulated, many stakeholders in the local church fraternity publicly called on the Reverend to clarify his motivation. Our newsroom attempted to reach Reverend Dick ourselves for comment, but calls and messages to his phone went unanswered. But Anglican priest and human rights advocate Father Sean Major Campbell argues that there's nothing wrong with having the conversation, insisting it's part of a broader dialogue on faith, inclusion, and modern societal realities.
It is okay for the question to be asked, as it presents an opportunity for us to be reminded that we are still yet to have that necessary conversation about human sexuality and sexual orientation and gender identity, and the matter of what does gender and sexual diversity mean. Maybe the question is also best addressed in a congregational conversation. We often hear the expression, what would Jesus do? I believe Jesus would welcome everybody.
Father Major Campbell is also describing as problematic the argument that marriage should only be between a man and a woman.
For ages, we have limited our sex education to a little anecdotal statement. God never make Adam and Steve, he make Adam and Eve. End of story. When there is a broad, serious conversation to be had about why people understand themselves the way they do and why there is such a reality as a spectrum on human sexuality and gender identity and the gender and sexual diversity.
But chairman of the Jamaica Coalition for a Healthy Society, Dr. Wayne West, is pushing back, insisting the church must adhere to scripture and tradition.
You don't bless persons who commit murder. You don't bless persons who steal. Whether or not you're not blessing the stealing or the murder, but you don't bless persons who are doing wrong, and same-sex relationships are wrong.
Many of our people are leaving and seeking to leave, to migrate to locations where they are going to discover that it's not that simple and easy to just stigmatize people and discriminate against them and get away with it.
Well, we don't change church to keep people. People come into church to do what God says. So if persons don't wish to do what God said, they don't come into church. And that is the understanding of church from the very beginning. When human beings start making other human beings and start making ears and noses and brains and kidneys and liver from nothing, then we can decide what is right and wrong until such time God decides that. And I don't see any room for any discussion. There's nothing to be discussed there. What is wrong is wrong.